Dangerous virus experiments. So I know there's arguments on both sides. Some people say we need to experiment with viruses to develop vaccines. Other people say it's too dangerous. Things can escape from nature. I'm not an expert in this area, but I have some thoughts of risk and reward in general that may apply to viruses that I want to talk about here. So there's different kind of mistakes. There's mistakes that could be undone and mistakes that could not be undone, what they call catastrophic mistakes. Most mistakes in life could be undone, but certain things can't. Like if you, get paralyzed, although they're working on that, you probably can't get unparalyzed. So, or if you lose your sight, although they're working on that also. So what you really want to avoid is catastrophic mistakes. So personally, even though I think that, potentially, there's some benefit, obviously, to, working on vaccines, and we need to do that. We need to be so careful that the research that we're funding doesn't, do more harm than good. So, like even Elon Musk said, the cure can't be worse than the disease. So right now there's a debate about whether COVID, there's two competing theories, whether it happened naturally or whether it was, escape from a lab in China, Wuhan. And, that's not clear yet, but what is clear, there's a vigorous debate about it, but what is very clear is that, we fund, and we, America, fund, virus experimentation, basically, to try to, work on vaccines and understand viruses and that kind of thing. And, it's possible that we'll wind up killing ourselves doing it. Like Elon Musk is taking us to Mars because, planetary, survival. And, I'm watching a video now that it's called The Longest Running Evolution Experiment by Verstium. I've only gotten through the first few minutes, but it was so powerful I wanted to stop and do this. They did I'm going to watch the rest of it. They did an 11-day experiment where they took a virus that was killed by an antibiotic. It was either virus or bacteria, I forget. It was killed by an antibiotic, but then they let it evolve. And first it evolved so that it could survive with an antibiotic that was 10 times stronger than what killed it eventually. And then it learned to evolve against an antibiotic that was 100 times stronger than what would kill it initially. And then it learned to evolve and survive against an antibiotic that was 1,000 times stronger than what would kill it eventually. And you know how long it took to survive against an antibiotic 1,000 times stronger? 11 days. Now, if that's not going to scare the S out of you, I don't know what will. In 11 days, a virus learned how to survive against an antibiotic 1,000 times stronger. I watched another video that talked about it was from Vox, about the different variants that are coming up. And basically it says, as long as the virus exists, it'll keep on working to, come up with new and stronger variants. This happens randomly, but, over time, if there's enough people that are still infected, and possibly people could become reinfected, and possibly, worst case, well, I don't know if this is even the worst case, but, it could evolve to the point, people debate about whether this is possible or not, but some think it definitely is possible. Potentially, it could evolve to the point where the vaccines don't even work anymore. Already, they're probably slightly or somewhat diminished, according to experts. That's why we may need a booster shot or shots. But potentially, that's why we have to work to, get people vaccinated. This is a controversial topic, so I'm not going to really focus on it here. But I believe in voluntary. I don't think people should be coerced. But, the virus is not something to play around with. And, I think that there should be, a moratorium on the most, I think two things I would recommend. And again, I'm not an expert, but just in risk and reward in general. The first is there should be, a moratorium, I believe now, on anything that's considered moderately to extremely potentially deadly. I would say at least extremely and even moderately probably yes, because all we need is one mistake and we wipe out the human species. So better to err on the side of caution significantly. And then the second thing I think we need is we need a whole framework to understand, not just among a few scientists, because now it's coming out with like Fauci and others that, a few of the top scientists in the world were disagreeing, but nobody knew what was going on. We need the whole public, not only the whole health workers, but the whole public to understand what the parameters are, what the major questions are, what the major framework is of this risk and reward around viruses and contagious diseases, so that everybody understands, so that the public can be informed, and we can have like a meaningful debate as a world and as a society and as a country in terms of what's going on. Elon Musk said that artificial intelligence is going to kill us, but the viruses could kill us first, and we really need to start to get our arms around it.